With its 15-inch display, cryotech cooling, its dark side of the moon design, and its ability to automatically turn on, the Alienware M15 R5 may seem like a stylish powerhouse in terms of gaming laptops. Priced at around 100,000 pesos or more, it could be a daunting option given the amount of money that you'll have to waste. But is it really worth spending? Let's take a deeper look in our first episode of Spin Tech. Starting off with the Command Center program, you can customize the overall aesthetic of your laptop. You can change the colors of the keyboard as well as the logo and lighting effects of your device. And at the same time, you can likewise assess if the overall hardware is functioning properly, just by checking on the functionality of both your CPU and GPU. But besides the Command Center, there's also the Mobile Connect app that allows you to store your cell phone contacts and files to your laptop. Plus, you can also send text messages via your laptop, and you can even control your mobile device using the keyboard, mouse, and even the touchscreen, limiting the back and forth toggling from your computer to your mobile device and vice versa. Given these features, the Alienware offers some degree of convenience for multitaskers as well as hardware junkies. Other features include a camera, which if you are a fan of making indie found footage horror movies, then this would be the perfect camera for you. Otherwise, buy a high-definition webcam. And as for the microphone, well, let's see how it pans out. If you're an aspiring streamer, content creator, or a voiceover actor, I wouldn't recommend that you use the built-in microphone from this Alienware laptop because it sounds a bit blurry. Overall, it has some slick features which are worth exploring. But how does it fare in terms of overall performance? Which is definitely the most important part of every gamer's life. Now when it comes to gaming, the low CPU utilization is a priority, as that would mean that the device doesn't need to exert a lot of energy, while a high GPU utilization is important, as this would mean that the laptop maximizes the graphics card of your device. And as much as possible, with a laptop this powerful, you'd expect this to display a strong FPS rate, meaning it will capture every in-game movement or detail. With these in mind, let's do some tests. We first start with a game that isn't the most demanding in terms of performance, though the same cannot be said with your wallet and credit card. And based on our playthrough, the CPU utilization is around 11% to 30%, and the GPU utilization is at 35 to 55%. Now, this is normal for non-extensive programs, and as you can see, there are no FPS numbers primarily because the device is too powerful enough that it doesn't need to worry about a frame drop. Okay, so moving on, let's try to add some more thrills and exciting experiences with our next game, which will serve as a middle ground. With the critically acclaimed remake of the second Resident Evil game, we experienced an FPS spike reaching around 100 to 150, and there were instances when it reached around 200 or more. As for the CPU utilization, you might expect this to go beyond the range from Genshin Impact, but surprisingly it matched Genshin's CPU numbers. Then, when it comes to graphics output, it was able to unleash the best from this iconic Zombie Fest game, as there were moments when it reached around 96% GPU utilization. So overall, based on the results, the device was able to perform exceedingly well with Resident Evil 2. Now the big question is, can it handle the top-notch games, the ones that are overly demanding? So we decided to take everything to the next level with a trip to ancient Greece. In our attempts to relive the glory days of ancient Greece, our FPS declined from 100 plus to around 55 to 70, especially when it came to the game's combat experience. Then there were moments when it goes down to around 20 to 25, and you could actually feel the FPS drop. But overall it doesn't seem like a daunting experience, but rather more of a minor hiccup. Now, given the high system requirements of Assassin's Creed Odyssey, the CPU utilization actually increased from 17 to around 40, and at some points reached 90, especially in combat. But it can go down to around 11 to 20. Yet despite some overbearing CPU numbers, the GPU utilization remains at its best, and the device maximizes the graphical features of the game given the 95% and above GPU. So overall, the Alienware manages to perform well with its main function in delivering the best experience, especially with games that don't require the extreme levels of system requirements. And based on our overall assessment of the Alienware M15 R5 laptop, it definitely packs a punch, and it lives up to its price tag given the overall performance as well as the features of the laptop. We definitely recommend getting this device, especially if you want to maximize your overall gaming experience.